Welcome to our third edition of our MACA Podcast. I'm Angel Osorio. This is Balde Olivarez, Wrestling Coach of Harlingen High School. So how have you been, Coach?
Been pretty good. Just, we're getting ready, doing our preseason stuff, getting ready for the season that's coming up in November. And, we came off of a pretty good summer strength and conditioning program and just, tightening everything up and, filling in our weight classes. So, it's going pretty good so far.
Sounds had a couple of wrestlers dominating the scene, getting gold in nearly every single tournament, and that we also got some to state. So I was wondering, how do you expect this season to go based on the results you've seen previously?
Well, and I'm glad you're interviewing me because you're one of my wrestlers. So you know how it is. You know how you were able to see the transition from your first year to, not having me there to having me there one year and then the next year. So what I do is I kind of analyze how the season goes, and what am I doing? And I've told you before, condition is very important to us, and that's one of the big compliments we get. And I don't want to say I'm doing the exact same thing as last year. I am changing a little bit of the workouts, a little bit of the things so we can compete with the higher level as far as like the upper state, because when we get to the upper state, it's a whole other ballgame up there, and that skill level is pretty crazy. So I'm doing little things, make minor adjustments, adding a little bit more conditioning, even though we do that a lot more skill and a lot more live. Just kind of what we've been doing, but just elevating it a little bit more.
I definitely feel it. This morning it was pretty hard practice.
Yeah.
Even the experienced wrestlers were having a struggle.
Uh-huh.
I've thought about it before, and the fact that you've managed to get lots of wrestlers to state on what's basically a 4-year program is really a miracle. So I wanted to know exactly what do you do different than other coaches?
Ooh, that's a good question. And I'm friends with a lot of these coaches too. One of the things I do is I pick brains off of other coaches and other wrestling trainers around the valley. I was fortunate enough to go to coaching school this summer. I was able to present up there. That was a huge honor for me. At the same time, I was able to talk to a lot of other coaches and collaborate with other wrestling coaches from. And I'm not talking just the San Antonio. I'm talking the Dallas area, the way upstate. Like where we see people at state. And a lot of them were giving compliments as to how everything was structured within our program. And because I was able to do a few things that we do. And I said, okay, what we're doing is good. Let me see what I can do better. The majority of the people were complimenting what was going on. But I think the one thing I do different is I make a connection with a lot of the athletes. And, I talk about, I don't want to necessarily talk about my problems, but I talk about my issues that I used to have when I was your all's age. I've talked openly about my junior year. My mother was diagnosed with cancer. We did lose her 2 years later. So, I put myself in your all's shoes. And I say, look, I was going through this when I was your age, and I can only imagine how you feel right now. And I think about coaches that, coached me and the things that worked and didn't work for me. So I kind of molded off of that. So if something sticks in my head, I'll give you an example. When you hear me talk about the little man in your head, I got that from a coach, So different styles come from the different coaches that I've had. Coach Quilantan, who was my wrestling coach in high school, taught me a lot. And I think a lot of you have met him, and you're like, okay, now we know where you get that coach. And another thing is having that connection with your athletes is very important because, yeah, you're kind of an authority figure to them. You're their head coach, but at the same time, a lot of them may not have that extra helping hand at home or with their friends or anything like that. So I kind of connect and make sure everything's good with them. And I talk about mental health a lot within my program. So once they hear that, a lot of people kind of opened up to me about different struggles, and I love that because they might not be talking about it to other people. So there's a lot of things that I do different than other coaches, and I truly believe that it's on the right path. We're going on the right path. And at the same time, I can always do something better. We can always improve. So
I've seen you helping out with people in their mental health, even giving them breaks because the burnout does hit, especially when you're dealing with a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I really think it makes the wrestlers better.
Yeah.
Because they really feel like they can trust you, even on the times that they do doubt you, they doubt the workouts. At the end of the day, they know they can trust you and what you're doing.
For sure.
I remember that last year we lost the team district title by like just a hair. So I wanted to know what you have planned this year to improve the team and make sure we secure every single title and trophy.
So which camera's on right now? This one's the live one. We're coming for it all, plain and simple. we're coming for it all. We did win a lot of trophies last year. I admit, both boys and girls. Boys and girls did win trophies, but the trophy, the trophy we wanted,
trophy.
we did fall short. And I do explain we were like 8 points away from our district title. We were in first place the entire tournament, but we just started kind of losing it towards the end. My thing is, let's not be put in that position. Let's take it to them to where we're ahead of the game way more than we even need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And just like what happened at the Thanksgiving Throwdown tournament when the boys won, people were coming up to us, "Hey, congratulations, man, congratulations." I was like, wait, I need to hear it first, But a lot of the things, and like I said, I look at what I did last year, and what worked and what didn't work, and what worked and what didn't work. So a lot of the things that I'm doing different is adding more cardio and a lot more live, but then at the same time protecting you guys by going a little lighter with the skill. And oh man, I mean, like, life throws curveballs here and there. I knew I wanted to teach and coach wrestling since I myself wrestled in high school in the late '90s. I graduated in 2000, so you guys do the math on that. But I talk about Coach Guy Lantan a lot. He was one of the ones that pulled me from a situation that, I almost got into a fight, and I told the story several times. I went in, I tackled a guy, and I was doing 2 days during football. Coach Q comes up to me, and at that had a conversation with him that changed my life. Mm-hmm. It opened up the door to a sport that, I can honestly say it saved me, and even in high school, because I was struggling a lot with my mental health in high school. When I talked about, like I said, my mother. So I used a lot of these outlets as motivation and as thing. And in my junior year is when I had my best season. But coming up as an assistant, that was fun. Don't get me wrong. I was an assistant next door for a while. Then I was able to take over that program for a couple of years, and I had the opportunity to come over here. So I took that opportunity and I ran with it because I feel like Harlingen is the best athletic program in the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm. You talked about wrestling really changing your life, and I think it's honestly true. Even though it's just a high school sport, I've seen it. Mm-hmm. I've seen a couple of the wrestlers. They've been going down like bad paths mm-hmm. early in their high school years, mm-hmm. and just you being there for them and them having something to take seriously really it changed the whole trajectory of their life. I know even though I wasn't going down a bad path, it still changed my life for the better. It made me more outgoing and it made me more helpful to those around me. And I really love just like helping people improve in the mat room, helping the people win the titles, even mm-hmm. when I can't. Mm-hmm. It's really just an amazing sport. Well, I think that does it for our MACA podcast. Thank you for coming out here and talking to me about this amazing sport.
Appreciate it.
I can't wait to get out there and win some tournaments alongside you.
I'll be right there with you, man. And it got me all teary up over here, man. But, we're going to do some damages here. And I told you guys at the end of the season that get ready because our season starts now. Yeah. Those were my words at the end of when we got back from state, like our season starts Monday. And we've done a pretty good part. So I appreciate you guys bringing me in. And anything I can do to promote the sport, promote our program, and, get in here and talk to you. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm Angel Osorio. Until next time. Is that it? Did they cut?